You're listening to short inspirations from Ralph. Patience, a very powerful virtue. Part 4. Paul wrote to the Philippians in chapter 4, verse 6 to 9, and he said this: don't be pulled in different directions or worried about a thing. Don't fret, another version says. Be saturated in prayer throughout each day, offering your faith-filled requests before God with overflowing gratitude. Tell Him every detail of your life. Then God's wonderful peace that transcends human understanding will make the answers known to you through Jesus Christ. So keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honourable and admirable, beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising Him always, following the example of all that we've imparted to you, and the God of peace will be with you in all things. Wow, that's a real packed passage of scripture. But the thing that I get out of that mostly is the idea of saturating your day or filling your day with things like prayer and gratitude. And I would say with this thing called patience, it just pops up all the time. Opportunities to be patient and to wait are there all the time, and we saturate our days with patience, even if it frustrates people around us. Someone said 1 moment of patience may ward off great disaster. 1 moment of impatience may ruin a whole life. Wow. Some years ago I read a story of a father and son who farmed a little piece of land, and a couple of times a year they would load up their ox-drawn cart with vegetables, go to the nearest city and sell their produce. There's quite a difference between the son and the father. The old man believed in taking life easy. He was a patient sort. He loved to stop to smell the roses. On the other hand, his son, the boy, was almost always in a big hurry, impatient to get whatever he was doing speeded up to complete it. So one morning, bright and early, they hitched up the ox and loaded the cart and started on the long journey to the nearest city. The son figured that if he could force the ox to walk faster, and he kept the animal pulling the cart all day and night, they'd be able to make it to the market by early the next morning. So the son kept on prodding the ox with a stick, urging the beast to get a move on. "Take it easy," said his father. "You'll last longer. But if we get to the market ahead of the others, we'll have a better chance of getting good prices," argued the son. No reply from the father. He just pulled his hat down over his eyes and fell asleep on the seat. This irritated the young guy. 4 hours and 4 miles down the road they came to a little house. The father woke up, smiled and said, "Here's your uncle's place. Let's stop and say hello." "But we've lost an hour already," complained the young son. "Then a few more minutes won't really matter." So the 2 old men laughed and talked away almost another hour, and they went on the road again, and the son said the left fork, when they came to a fork, was the shorter way. The father said, "Yep, that's true, but the other way is so much prettier." "Have you no respect for time?" the son asked. "Oh, I respect it very much. That's exactly why I like to look at the beauty around me and enjoy each moment to the fullest." The winding path they took led through meadows and flowers and rippling streams, but the young man missed it because he was churning within and preoccupied and boiling with anxiety. Didn't even notice how lovely the sunset was that day. Then the father decided that they'd sleep in that area. "This is the last trip I'm ever taking with you," snapped his son. "You're more interested in watching sunsets and smelling flowers than in making money." "Why, that's the nicest thing you've said to me in a long, long time," smiled the dad, and he went off to sleep. Before sunrise, the young man hurriedly shook his father awake. They hitched up the cart and continued their journey to the market. About a mile down the road, Another farmer, a total stranger, was trying to pull his cart out of a muddy ditch into which he'd slid. "Let's give him a hand," said the old man. "And lose more time," the boy exploded. "Relax, son, you might just be in a ditch sometime yourself. We need to always help other people who are in need. Don't ever forget that." It was almost 8 o'clock that morning by the time the other cart was out of the ditch and back on the road. Suddenly, a great blinding flash split the entire sky, and what sounded like heavy crashing thunder followed. It grew dark and foreboding beyond the hills. "Looks like big rain in the city," said the old man. "If we'd hurried, we'd be almost sold out by now," grumbled his son. "Take it easy," the father said. "You'll last longer and you'll enjoy life so much more." It was late afternoon by the time they got to the hill overlooking the city. They stopped and stared down at it for a long, long time. Neither of them said a word. Finally, the young man put his hand on his father's shoulder and said, "I now see what you mean, Dad." They turned their cart around and began to roll slowly away from what had once been known as the city of Hiroshima, Japan. Yes, patience does have great rewards. God bless you today.